Hello, wonderful people. I miss you so much. Wow, I miss you. I miss you. I miss you. I miss you. And that sounds weird because you're like, how do you miss us, right? But thank you so much for being here, for clicking, for sticking through with me. Happy holidays. Today is actually December 13th. It's my niece's fourth birthday. Yes. Oh my God. Where have time gone? Where like this girl was a baby and now she's 4. She talks, but she's like the sweetest kid ever. She's so kind. That's one thing about her. She's very kind. Her heart is pure. It's just amazing to just see kids. I've had an interesting couple of weeks, and I wanted to talk about just what's going on and everything. And so a week ago, my childhood best friend got married, and I was supposed to be her maid of honor, and I knew I was gonna write the maid of honor speech. And as I always thought I was gonna go, like after last minute consideration, I ended up not going. But when I was writing the speech I was gonna say at her wedding, I remember coming up with this line where I said that I'm relinquishing my job as her best friend to her now husband. And I imagined myself saying that in front of her and her husband, and I just had an idea. Something popped in my head, right? And I've always been in situations where when people that I know or people that I was close to got married, they ghost you, right? It is a common knowledge in African cultures or in African uncomfortable truth. They tell us that, oh, when you're married, a married woman cannot hang out with a single woman. I've heard that 50,000 times. And then they will use the Bible to justify, like, a house divided against itself cannot stand. If two people are not, if your hand is causing you to sin, cut it off. So you as a single person, you're like, the married person has to cut it off, like has to cut you off because they are not in your status, right? And I've always had issues with that because I always felt like, why does marriage have to interfere with our friendship? Like, I was there before this man was. I know you better than this man will ever know you. Like, the only thing I do not know about you is how you moan or how you spread your legs. But like, I know you because I've been there with you when you went through those stuff. And I always kind of like hated it because I was the one getting cut off, right? But it's also been like, there's something wrong with you if you're single, right? Because so if you're a married woman, you were pristine, you were seen as pristine because you found somebody to love you. And I always had like, it just felt archaic to me. However, you know what? Point, stop, period, right? New paragraph. When she got married a week ago, and when I was writing that, I honestly felt like our friendship was coming to an end. Not like a bad end, but an end, right? This is somebody I've known since I was 3 years old. Although we have not seen each other physically in 16 years, this is the person that I've played with. This is the person that, first of all, let me just be honest, she whipped my ass when we were kids. She whipped my ass. I had a big mouth. I have no muscles. She whipped my ass. This was somebody that you were intimate with in like 50 different ways, right? We played together. We had showers together. Like, you've seen me in my underwears, like we were in chorus together. And although she lives in Australia, I live in the United States, although there has been that geographical separation, she was the only person that I was able to emotionally grow up with, right? Because like there are people who I've been childhood friends with, we just grew apart, right? But she was constantly, because and whenever she had issues, like I was there, we would laugh about like a lot of stupid stuff. Like when they started dating, I was one of the people that made sure, like, she stuck with him. So hopefully the marriage will work out, because if it doesn't, then she gonna fucking blame me. But yeah, so, but you do feel like it's an end of an era, because the person changed, right? The circumstances that you are in life changes, your status change. Although I never agreed with sort of how people made it seem like it was bad, like something's wrong with you if you're a single person, now I'm understanding that I cannot just call her any time of the day. To be honest with you, I couldn't even call her any time of the day, but that's another story, right? She would tell me about, we were having different conversations, right? And the cultural expectation of her as a wife is very different to what I have right now, right? I guess I'm just like, as I'm reevaluating stuff, as I'm re-identifying things, I've realized that I've always kept people close regardless of how things changed. I never kind of like realized that, hey, you change. The circumstances that you are in have changed you. I've always thought like, nah, I'm still the same. I've always tried to keep myself to be the same so I can be accessible. I don't know if that makes sense. I've always kept things to be the same. I've always been like, nah, I'm still gonna be the same girl. I'm still gonna be the same girl that we can, talk crap with. We can do this. We can, if my ghetto friend, she wants to be ghetto, I can be ghetto with her. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, I always kept myself together, or to not be too distant, so that I can be accessible. And with the way this year has gone, I've realized that I've always made myself accessible, but my friends have not made themselves accessible to me, right? So, yes, I'm learning to draw boundaries, and and I think the reason why I didn't want to seem distant or to be called distant, because I didn't want people to think that, oh, because, you're traveling, then you think you're better than us, or because you've been to the, the state house or whatever. You think, you know what I mean? So I've always kind of like, I think subconsciously, I've always been like, oh, I don't want my friends to feel bad because they're not there. So I was trying to kind of like catch them up to me, right? To make sure that regardless of where I am, I'm still the same girl that they know. But now that I'm 26 and I'm going through real life, I'm realizing that although when African women tells you to like not hang out with your single friend, although they say that because there is this sort of like pristine that married women have over single women, I'm starting to understand why, right? Because like, if I'm employed and you are broke, okay, let me use a better example because that may come off wrong. But for example, me, I cannot have a friendship with somebody who only lived in this small town. Somebody who have a small mindset, a small town mind, like, and not that because it's bad to just like, be in your place and everything, but like, I've been to 4 continents. I've been to 15 different countries. I speak 10 different languages. We don't speak the same language. I can have multiple perspective. I can understand your perspective because your perspective is included in one of the multiple perspectives that I can understand, but you will never be able to understand my perspective. You will never be able to understand my perspective. And even in dating, like, it's not a requirement for you to come with a lot of degrees, but it is a requirement for you to have like multicultural experience. And I don't care as long as you as long as you're taller than 6 feet, I don't care what color you come in. But you need to have a multicultural perspective. Like, if you've been to this country, you never left your small little town, you never done this, you never done that, you never met anyone from a different culture, a different this, a different that, please don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me. I've realized that most of my friendship failed because it wasn't equally yoked, because we were speaking 2 different languages. We were not speaking the same languages. And I've realized that although I was trying to make myself accessible, because you don't want people to think that you changed because things are happening for you and everything, you still want to be the humble girl that they knew before and everything. No, when things change, you have to change. And I think it took me a while to understand that. When things change, you have to change. You have to change. If your environment change, you cannot walk the same way you walk in DC in New York. You cannot walk the same way you walk in Paris in New York. They will bump into you. You may fall and no one's going to be there to say sorry. So different environment, you have to accommodate to them. Yeah. So yeah, I understand why. And so when in my head I came up with this idea of I'm relinquishing my job as your best friend to your husband, that doesn't mean we won't talk. That doesn't mean that you don't have value. But it just means that we don't have the same priorities, right? And not being in a marriage, I cannot, like, I can give you life advice if you ask me like a life question, but I cannot give you a marriage advice, right? Because I'm not married. Now the question comes in with me is, when I get married, will I have single friends? Subconsciously, I know the answer is yes. Because of the value I put in friendship, and B, I think I run on survivor's guilt. So I will never like stop talking to somebody because they are not married. Like, of course there's gonna be boundaries. And although I have had this epiphany and I am giving this thought a lot of credit or some validation, it's just weird to me. Like, and I think it's different with people who just like, you know, they got married, you know, they got busy and everything, things change and all that. Although I understand those people who get like relationships and then they be like, poof, yeah, you know, my man is not my best friend, it's not this, it's not that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, they don't even recognize that they dumped you when they had this man. That when they broke up with this Negro, they come to you. Like, fool, what? Like, how can you not even be like, and the one thing I'm realizing, the reason why they can do that is because they know that you'll be there. And not that you'll be there because you're single, it's because they know that you'll be there because that's the type of person you are. And I'm learning to change that about myself because when I tell you that there are people who can get hit by a bus and I won't give a damn for. And those are people that I thought we would grow old together, that we will be those old ladies that go on vacation together, talk crap about each other. But when I hear these people talk and how they behave, I'm just like, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But just don't expect for me to be there when shit falls off. Like, take me out of the group chat. I don't want to be in there. I don't care. I don't want to be in it. And I think that goes to how we view ourselves, right? Because, even for the wedding, you don't ask a married person to be your bridesmaid. You also have to ask a single person, right? Because, I don't know. But I understand that. I'm starting to understand it. Because if you don't have the same experience, what are you going to talk about? So I get it. And the reason why I get it is because that's what I'm living through, right? Because I've worked through my survivor's guilt. And I'm like, oh no, it's okay for me to change. I should change because my stuff are changing, right? I have money in my bank account. I'm able to travel. I'm able to do things. Yes, fool, I'm going to be bougie. Call me bougie, call me whatever you want to call me. I worked hard for it. So as I am becoming comfortable and accepting my blessings, I can understand that. And I think that's why I've said it, I said it to her with open heart. I relinquish my job as your best friend to your husband now. It's an end to a friendship, but that doesn't mean we don't have the friendship, right? Because the woman that she is now, the woman that she's going to become as Mrs. So-and-so, is someone that I'm going to have to know. I'm realizing that there are people who I know, but I don't consider them friends because I don't feel like I know them. There's a particular relationship that we stopped talking for 2 years, and now we are like talking, but it's like I don't know her. So I just try to lay low with her. Never, like, I told her things that were public knowledge. If I tell you something that's public knowledge, like, I don't give a damn, right? Those are things that I don't give a damn. Those are things that you can easily find out, right? But do I trust her with my heart? Hell to the no. Do I trust her to tell her something happens for me? Nope. My best friend, the one that just got married, the one whom inspired this episode, will I tell her if I meet somebody? Yeah. Will I tell her the same day that it happens the way I used to do? No. Will I discuss my relationship with people I used to know but we're not really close? No. They're probably going to be those people who find things out from my Instagram page. But yeah. So tell me what you think. What is the culture surrounding statuses in your communities? Because in an African culture, a married woman do not work with a single woman. Because there is nothing that single woman is going to give you. You're supposed to take care of your husband. Do you understand? That's my Nigerian accent, by the way. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Happy holidays. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.